Welcome. Welcome to the November 2024 meeting of our nonprofit plant-based nutrition organization of Wisconsin, or what we like to call PBNOW. I'm your host, Terry Lynch. The mission of our nonprofit group is to educate, inspire, and support each other on an evidence-backed whole plant food-based nutritional path for a healthier and happier life. Our group is open to everyone, those plant-based and those just curious about it. It's meant to be a non-judgmental place to get information, inspiration, and support. If you'd like more information about our group, our upcoming meeting dates, speakers, and resources, excuse me, or to check out videos of our past meetings, just Google us at pbnow.org. That's pbnow.org. As we do each time, can I see a show of hands either by raising your hand or using the thumbs up icon on the bottom to show how many of you are currently excuse me, following a predominantly plant-based lifestyle?
I don't know how
we
to
go,
do
some thumbs are popping up and some hands are up.
that.
Excuse me, that's a nice,
I don't know how to do that.
nice group.
Hey Terry, if you want to give me a co-host for this so that I can mute people.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt.
Sure. And who is that? Oh yeah. Okay. Hold on for just a minute, everybody. We got. We just get.
Thank you so much.
That's Brett.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Here we go. All right. That's our tech man.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. As we mentioned at the beginning of each meeting, the evidence of the benefits of plant-based nutrition in improving health and quality of life for people of all ages, as published in non-biased medical research, is quite striking. Whether it's improving health through increased energy, weight loss, preventing, slowing, stopping, or reversing problems like allergies, digestive problems, diabetes, heart disease, and even early dementia, we're increasing our quality of life by helping us feel better quickly, speeding recovery from exercise, reducing joint pain, improving athletic performance, clearing thinking, or reducing the physical, emotional, and financial side effects of the illnesses, drugs, and procedures often recommended to treat the conditions plant-based nutrition can help us avoid. The research shows that our bodies do a great job of healing themselves if we stop inadvertently damaging them daily with poor nutrition and start giving them the nutrition they need to heal and function optimally. It's really remarkable. Now, let me tell you what's in store for you tonight. We'll hear from three speakers. I should mention, unfortunately, our medical director, Dr. Josh Lieberman, who had planned to be here, is going to be unable to be here tonight. So our first speaker tonight will be plant-based coach Michelle Stam, who is going to share some holiday tips with us. Michelle's going to be followed by our featured speakers, Ann and Jane Esselstyn, who will show us some of their favorite holiday appetizers and desserts. I apologize that some of the communication that was sent out mislabeled what Ann and Jane were going to talk about as label reading and 15-minute meals. We're actually going to be covering plant-based holiday appetizers and desserts with Ann and Jane tonight. Our program should end about 7:30. As a reminder, we have meetings every month, usually on the second Thursday of the month at 6 o'clock. Next month, our featured speaker will be California plant-based author Rachel Brown. In the future, we'll be hearing from plant-based icon Michael Clapper, PCRM exam room host Chuck Carroll, American College of Lifestyle Medicine past president Dr. Kate Collins, among others. I hope you can join us for some of all of these future speakers. We'll post more information about the upcoming meetings on our website at pbnow.org. If you register there or are already registered, you'll receive email reminders of our events as they approach. Last, a quick technical note. During the meeting, everyone but the speakers will be muted, and we ask that you stay that way to avoid background noise and allow everybody to hear the speakers. With that, let's go to our first speaker tonight. She is a certified plant-based health coach, physical therapist, and based here in southeastern Wisconsin. She's the founder and owner of Wellness Empowered, where she teaches people through a series of personal one-on-one virtual appointments how to incorporate plant-based eating into their daily lives. She helps people not only make the transition to plant-based nutrition easier, but it also increases the chances they successfully reach and sustain the goals they set together. I've asked her to post her contact information at the end of her talk. Tonight, Michelle's going to be giving us tips for enjoying the upcoming holiday season while meeting the multitude of challenges that they can bring. I'm happy to introduce to you tonight our first speaker, plant-based coach, Michelle Stam. Michelle?
All right, thanks for having me, Terry. I'm going to share my screen, so hopefully you guys can all see my slide, getting you in the holiday mood with those pictures there. So tonight, yeah, like Terry said, we're going to talk about help for the holidays, and everything I do here at Wellness Empowered is all meant to make plant-based eating more delicious, more doable, and more fun. So that's exactly what we're going to talk about tonight, only we're going to do it holiday style. So we're going to start with delicious. And this is super important because it's the holidays, right? Like I want your food to be delicious so you can enjoy it because that's part of enjoying the holidays. So my favorite food tip for you for navigating Thanksgiving, Christmas, the other holidays or family gatherings you have coming up is to bring a hearty salad to any holiday gatherings you're invited to, or else to make one, if you're the host yourself. This is exactly what I do. This way, I know that even if there's nothing else plant-based for me at the table, I'm always going to have something plant-based that I can enjoy and that's going to fill me up and make me happy. So I'm not even tempted by the things on the table that aren't plant-based. And I know, it's a salad. I hear you, but look at the screen. These are not limp, iceberg lettuce with like a yucky, mealy pink tomato on the side. Like these are beautiful, wonderful salads. This is the kind of salad I'm talking about. I'm talking about the kind of salad that's hearty. So it's filling and satisfying. I'm talking about the salad that's delicious, so you don't leave the table feeling deprived at all. I'm talking about the salad that is gorgeous, so it's so enticing and looks really pretty on the holiday table. I mean, even people who aren't plant-based have to acknowledge that the prettiest thing on the table is the plants, right? Everything else is just kind of a shade of beige, okay? So because these salads are so pretty, so colorful, and so interesting, everybody else at the gathering besides you is probably going to enjoy them too. And I know this firsthand because these are actual salads that I have taken to family holiday gatherings. And at least one of them, I went back for seconds and there was nothing left for me. So, which is good news, I guess, that it made everybody else so happy to eat these salads. A little bit of bad news for me because, there wasn't extra for me. So maybe that's a bonus tip. If you bring a salad that is this delicious and beautiful, dish up enough the first time in case it disappears before you go back for seconds. So, okay, so these salads, I do not necessarily, you can surely find a million recipes online. And especially this time of year, you could probably, type in vegan holiday salad and find all kinds of things. I kind of make these up, honestly. So when I think about Thanksgiving, I'm building my Thanksgiving salad and I just think, what says Thanksgiving to me? And the salad in the square under the word delicious, that's what I created. I started with kale because that's like feels like a hearty green for the fall. And I added some parsley, fresh parsley from my garden, which still is growing. I chopped in some fresh red onion and then I cubed some butternut squash, seasoned it with a little bit of garlic powder and roasted that up. And then and threw that in the salad. And then I diced up some apples. I threw in some pomegranate arils, dried cranberries, and then I served some toasted pecans on the side. I don't add those to the salad because somebody in our family has nut allergies. And then I created a dressing, again, really simple, balsamic vinegar and some mustard and some maple syrup. And I added a little thyme and salt and pepper to that. And I serve, when I'm using a dark balsamic vinegar, I set it on the side. I don't like to mix that in because it's dark. And I mean, it tastes delicious, but it kind of ruins the prettiness of the salad. So the other salad you see here, I used a similar dressing and it has the same base, the kale and the parsley. And then I roasted up beets, corn, and carrots. and chickpeas. And then I put that on the salad as well. So again, like you can find recipes, but you can also make your own up. So both of those I feel like look kind of fallish to me for Thanksgiving. And then if you're thinking about Christmas, well, when I think of Christmas, I think of red and green. So green's easy. You can do kale or spinach or, another dark green that's real pretty at the Christmas table. And then add in red things. So whether it's raspberries or strawberries or red apples or pomegranates, again, just kind of play around with that and create a beautiful salad. Or, getting ahead of ourselves quite a bit, but I'll just mention Easter salads too. You can, in the spring, I think of arugula and roasted asparagus and berries, and then I make a lemon dressing. So again, you can find recipes for this online, but honestly, you can be creative and come up with beautiful things too. So you get the idea. All right. So there are other things you can eat besides salad on Thanksgiving or Christmas or any time, of course. Especially for Thanksgiving, I like to think of sort of skipping the main event and just eating the sides. There's so many sides. And honestly, most Thanksgiving side dishes are plant-based anyway. Cranberries, sweet potatoes, squash, corn, mashed potatoes, the dressing on the side. They're plant-based. And if they're not made plant-based, traditionally by your family, you can make them plant-based with really simple swaps. So if you're used to using chicken broth, don't do that. Use veggie broth. Or if you're used to using dairy milk to make the potatoes creamy, don't do that. Just add some almond milk or oat milk or something. So those plant-based swaps really can make the same food taste delicious. So if you don't want to just do sides, you can do a main dish. I haven't cooked any of these things up recently, so I don't have pictures for you, but you can probably picture it in your head. You can make an acorn squash, cut it in half, and then stuff it with wild rice and some cranberries and stuff. That's a beautiful main dish. I've seen people make mushroom Wellington. I've never done it. Someday, you guys, I'll do it. I'll let you know how it is. It looks beautiful. I've seen people do cauliflower roast where you take just a whole head of cauliflower and kind of use that as your centerpiece, where people maybe would use turkey traditionally. Or if you want to make life a little easier, you could just make some soup and either use that as a main dish or a side dish that can fill you up if there's not a lot of other plant-based things there. So I guess these soups, you could surely eat them at another holiday. I think I kind of have Thanksgiving in mind with these soups, but there's a squash soup there or this wild rice soup. So you can think of things like that. One of my clients always takes a crock pot of soup to the holidays, kind of like I take my hearty salad. So I know I'm always going to have something. She takes a crock pot of soup. So she always knows she's going to have something to eat. And, but there's tons of other food options if you just search online. And I know Ann and Jane Esselstyn are going to share some great options for us tonight as well. So now I want to tell you a little bit about what I like to make for my main dish at Christmas for my family. What you see here on the screen, I make a tofu ricotta and it's really easy. You do it in the food processor and you add a block of tofu and then some nutritional yeast to make it cheesy, and I add a little lemon and garlic, a few things like that. And then I also pulse in some either basil or spinach to give a little bit of green. Because I guess I think of these lasagna and stuffed shells as Christmassy because they are red and green. So I guess I just like thinking about that color profile. And the nice thing about these is they're plant-based, but they're also delicious. Even my nieces and nephews eat this stuff, and I don't even know if they know it's plant-based. They just know it's good. So, but part of why I wanted to share this lasagna picture with you and the stuffed shells is because one, to trigger your ideas of something you might want to make, but I also wanted to share a little story as means of encouragement. So okay, and this is for anybody. I know there's people in the audience who are new to plant-based eating, okay? So I was once 15 years ago new to plant-based eating myself, and so this is my story about that. So when I married into the Stam family, almost 30 years ago now, I learned pretty quickly that Stam Christmas was all about my mother-in-law's meatballs. That was the star of the show, and she made them with gravy and mashed potatoes, with the butter and the milk and all of that. So that was what we ate at Christmas. So, and I did too for the first 15 years I was in this family. And flash forward 15 years, and I decided to go plant-based. And I didn't want to draw attention to myself. I was like, oh, I don't want to be a bother. I don't really want anybody looking at me. And so I decided I was just going to eat, I would skip the meatballs and the potatoes, and I would just eat the green beans and the salad. And it wasn't a fancy salad like the ones I showed you before. It was pretty simple. So anyway, I spent a few years eating salad and green beans on Christmas, which, that wasn't really what I wanted to be doing either. But again, I didn't want everybody to notice me. But then it occurred to me, how am I ever going to show people that plant-based eating really is delicious and beautiful? Because I was loving my plant-based food, but here I was kind of hiding it from everybody. And I realized that I'm like, okay, I'm going to make something really good for Christmas. And so this is what I came up with, the lasagna and stuffed shells. I only make one or the other. So, but yeah, and now at Christmas, I'm really happy and I'm eating my beans and salad and my lasagna. And the rest of my family, no, they haven't all given up the meatballs, but they're eating less of them and they're eating more of this plant-based food. And honestly, I also know there's some of you out there who are wanting to invite other people in your life into this wonderful way of eating. And I will tell you, the best way I have found to do that is invite them with beautiful food, with delicious food. That is the way to draw people into this way of eating. I have tried nagging. I am the world's best nagger, but I have learned that does not work nearly as well as drawing people in with delicious and beautiful food. So if you have somebody you love, you want them to eat this way, give that method a try. All right, so those are some tips for making your holidays delicious. And now we're going to transition into making your holidays more doable too. So, all right, so when it comes to making things doable for the holidays, my first tip is to reframe your thinking about the holidays, like I just did right there, like I told you about. Please don't be like me. Please do not feel you need to hide in a corner and be less than just because you're plant-based. You don't need to hide because you're plant-based. Instead, I want you to redefine for yourself what it means to be plant-based. I would suggest that you should be proud of how you're eating plant-based, how you're choosing to eat this way to take care of your health. And as you're able, like I did, start inviting people into plant-based eating as well, not nagging, but inviting them with the delicious, beautiful food. Now, if you're not there yet, I get it. I hope you won't hide too much, but if you're still new to this and feeling a little bit uncomfortable, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I want you to remember that other people are not paying nearly as much attention to you as you think they are. They're way more concerned are there going to be enough mashed potatoes left for me? And they're heaping up their own plate. They don't really care what you're putting on your plate. So remember that. Remember me saying this on Thanksgiving, and don't worry about those other people. All right, another tip, if cooking in general, let alone holiday cooking, overwhelms you, skip the cooking altogether and reclaim your time in the process. There are some grocery stores and vegan restaurants out there that make holiday meals. You can order them ahead of time and you don't even have to do any cooking. So that works well if you are wanting to host with that, or maybe you just get a meal for one and bring it along if you're going somewhere else. So that's another tip. And finally, my last tip on this slide is a suggestion that comes straight from one of my clients. So I have to give her credit if she's listening or anything. She has completely reimagined her Thanksgiving holiday. She has adult children and she said, you know what, why don't you spend Thanksgiving Day with your other relatives, your in-laws, and then I want you all to come to my house on the Saturday after Thanksgiving. And I'm not going to cook a turkey and a big meal, but I'm just going to make a bunch of plant-based snacks and we're going to play games and kind of get ready for Christmas and stuff. And so that's what she's doing. And she gets to spend all this time with her family and grandkids doing fun things. And she doesn't have to worry about the food at all, other than a few plant-based snacks. So hopefully she is listening tonight because I know we're going to hear about some. All right, and then I have a few more strategies for you, and I like to call these strategies the ahead strategies. I will tell you, things are definitely going to go better for you on the holidays if you plan ahead. I don't want you to get to the holidays and then all of a sudden you feel stuck having to eat food that you don't want because it's the only thing there. Okay. I've had this happen to some of my clients. They don't plan. And that's exactly what happens. They end up eating things they don't want to do. You cannot wing it. You cannot think that the people who've never made plant-based food for you, you're going to show up at their house and then they're going to make it, right? So you've got to plan ahead. Think about what you can bring and then talk to the host as well. So that brings us to our next ahead strategy, call ahead. Now, I know sometimes people feel uncomfortable about this, but I want you to imagine if you're not hosting, what if you were the host? You would want everybody at your holiday table to feel welcomed and comfortable. And I know if somebody else is hosting you, they want that for you too, but they can't help you feel comfortable if you don't speak up. So that's why I advise you to call ahead. When you call ahead, offer to bring things and then let them know how you're eating. And if you do, there's some simple things they can do for you. Now, maybe they're not going to change everything and serve an entirely plant-based meal, but say they're making mashed potatoes. Maybe they can scoop out some mashed potatoes for you before they start adding all the milk and butter to it, okay? And then you can enjoy your potato, because potatoes are plant-based after all. All right, the next ahead strategy is to decide ahead of time. This might be more psychology than you thought you were going to get tonight, but I want to explain this to you really quickly. When you decide ahead of time what you are and aren't going to eat, you're using your prefrontal cortex. Okay, that's the part of your brain. If there's any teenagers here, I don't want to insult you. But that's the part of the brain that any of you who know teenagers, sometimes they don't make the best decisions. That's because that part of their brain hasn't developed yet. The prefrontal cortex is the part that plans for future, okay, with your future goals in mind. So when you decide ahead of time, you're probably going to make better choices at the holiday table than if you just wing it in the moment, because then you're going to use your lower brain that like sees good food, eats good food, and doesn't really think about your future self. So like I said, a little more psychology than you wanted, but that is why it's important to decide ahead of time. And the last one is to eat ahead. So if you know there's not going to be a lot of great foods for you to choose at the holiday event you're going to, do not head in starving. Eat ahead of time, and then maybe you can snack on a few things while you're there if you do happen to find some plant-based options. But really, you'll make better choices if you're not starving when you get there. All right, so we did delicious, we did doable. What's left? Fun. We cannot forget the fun. Now, I know a lot of us associate the holidays with our favorite food, but food really is not the reason we're gathering with our friends and families to celebrate the holidays in the first place, right? We're gathering with them to spend time with them, to spend time with the people we love. So I want you, when you're heading into some challenges this holiday season, I want you to keep the focus on the people, the fun, and the conversations, not on the food. The food is really only a very small part of the holiday experience. And there's lots of other fun things to focus on as well, besides just even the people and the food. On Thanksgiving, focus on the gratitude. On Christmas or other winter holidays, focus on the gifts. And on any of the holidays, you can focus on the games. You can maybe play some board games and stuff. And then, of course, Thanksgiving, there's always the football games to watch. And because this is Plant-Based Nutrition Organization of Wisconsin, I'm happy to tell you that I checked and the Packers do play this year on Thanksgiving. So for all of you Wisconsinites out there, we hopefully will have something really exciting to celebrate Thanksgiving night as well. So, all right, there you have it. Lots of simple tips to make your holidays delicious, doable, and fun. Now, I just want to tell you really quick, I also have a roadmap for your plant-based journey to better health, which you can sign up for using the QR code on your screen. And I'll drop a link in the chat as well, where you can do this once I'm done talking. But if you sign up for this roadmap, it shares all kinds of tips, not just for the holidays, but for making plant-based eating delicious. So I include a few recipes, doable and fun. So I share things in there about mindset and about, like, I even share a guide in there about navigating restaurants. honestly, everything I do here is making plant-based eating delicious, doable, and fun because I want people to love eating this way. Because when you love eating this way, you can sustain it for the long term, and then you're going to just keep creating health in your body as a result of doing so. Okay. So if there's anything I can do as a coach, I help people one-on-one to do this again, to make it delicious, doable, and fun. Because honestly, my mission is for more people to be eating more plants and creating more health in their bodies as a result of doing so. So if there's anything I can do to help you, please reach out. I would love to help you. All right. Thank you and happy holidays.
Michelle, thanks so much. Boy, what a lot of great tips. And I can mention that eating before really does help a lot, but all of those tips are helpful, and I would think would make it make all of our Thanksgivings that much easier and that much more fun.
Well, good. That's the point. So thank you so much. It was fun getting to share all that with you guys.
Now it's time to introduce our featured speakers. Looks like Brian's there. Ann and Jane Esselstyn are relentlessly energetic and creative advocates for the plant-based whole food way of life. Ann, a Smith graduate, earned a master's degree in education and taught for 27 years while raising 4 children. Jane, a University of Michigan swimmer and rower, earned a nursing degree, and like her mother and her husband, Brian Hart, became an educator and raised 3 plant-based children. Ann and Jane are now devoted to inventing recipes to prevent reverse heart disease in support of the research of Ann's husband and Jane's father, the esteemed former Cleveland Clinic physician, surgeon, and researcher, Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn Jr. Ann and Jane have co-authored the excellent Prevent Reverse Heart Disease cookbook, and more recently, the popular Be a Plant-Based Woman Warrior cookbook. A lot of great recipes in that. In addition, Ann and Jane have produced a string of popular YouTube and Instagram videos titled Plant-Based with Jane Esselstyn and Ann Esselstyn. They've got over 150,000 subscribers at this point. Tonight, Ann and Jane will be sharing with us some of their favorite plant-based holiday appetizer and dessert recipes. I'm excited to welcome our featured speakers tonight, Ann and Jane Esselstyn. Ann and Jane, and Brian first, I guess.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Just a quick intro. My name's Brian Hart. I'm the executive director of the Esselstyn Foundation. We are a 501c3 public charity, just to let everybody know. And as you might expect, our mission is to prevent and reverse lifestyle-related diseases through the promotion of whole food plant-based nutrition. We partner with existing nonprofits all over the world to spread this message about plant-based nutrition. So if any of you out there are affiliated with a nonprofit of any sort, a church, a synagogue, a charity hospital, maybe you're a group of medical students, maybe you're a member of the Kiwanis Club, whatever it is, if you're interested in bringing plant-based nutrition information to your organization, to your constituents, please let us know. We give all of our programming away free of charge. And so if you want to partner with us, our sort of unofficial slogan is, if you can get a bunch of people on a Zoom call, we'll talk about plant-based nutrition with them. So you're in for a treat tonight. You are going to hear from YouTube sensations, Ann and Jane Esselstyn. As Terry mentioned, they have over 300 videos on YouTube. If you're interested in learning more, 320, she said, videos on YouTube where you can learn to cook this way and learn all the recipes and everything like that. Tonight, you're in for a treat because it's all about holidays and what you can bring to parties or what you can serve friends and family members, and desserts are always a big treat. Obviously, as we learn that you do not need to suffer as plant-based eaters. We can still have dessert and enjoy ourselves as well as eat healthily. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to the superstars, Ann and Jane Esselstyn.
Hi, I'm Jane Esselstyn. I'm Ann Esselstyn. I felt like the previous presenter, you did a great job at talking through recipes, and so many of the components you were using in your recipes are things we're going to use today. So I love that overlap. All right.
Well, great. I'm excited to hear your spin on all of this. So.
Okay, no. Well, this is appetizers and sides. No, appetizers and desserts. appetizers and sides is not as exciting as appetizers and desserts. So we're gonna first each do a.
Actually, our appetizers are amazing.
No, I know, I was sort of desserts.
Well,
So first thing I'm gonna start with is something that's relatively new in our holiday family Shazam that we have happen. And by the way, thank you for talking about how it can be difficult at times over the holidays with families. But we have this bully for good in our family. And so every single person who comes to our Thanksgivings, and it always varies between like 27 and 45 people, depending on which, even in odd years, we let people go to their outlaws. Anyway, every single human who attends our Thanksgiving has to bring a dish. So everyone makes one thing and it's just easy. And plenty of people, because Thanksgiving, only one person is going to bring the turkey, if at all. So everything else is just astounding and delicious. Okay, so this is something we bring to Thanksgiving. Actually, I bring this and the cranberry salsa. So this is called the Holiday Better Board. You may have seen this video that we've done on YouTube, and if you have, take a little nap. If
no,
you,
don't take a nap
if
because
you
it's
haven't-
always inspiring.
you'll actually watch it because our friend Lisa did it with us, and she elevates everything. I actually have a little comparison of what she used for this and what we're going to use for this. But the foundation for this is a board, a cutting board. Whatever cutting board you like, you have. What you're going to do is you're going to put your food directly on it. We cut on a cutting board. It's used to food, but here we go. Take your hummus, and this is kava hummus. It does no added oil. There is some tahini in this one. We do have some that we get without tahini, but I'm making this one with the one that has a little tahini in it. Because when I make this for Thanksgiving, it has a little more appeal to everybody. And what we add to this is hummus is we're going to add, we call it our hickory smokehouse hummus. So we add a little bit of smoked paprika. And this is really just, I'm saving myself from having to do dishes. This is just a little bit of taken out of how many ounces is this? 16 ounces. So maybe 12 ounces in here. I put a little bit of smoked paprika, just as much as you kind of want. And then some liquid smoke. I'm gonna put about 5 drops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6. And because a little goes a long way with liquid smoke. And just stir this in, and it makes a really flavorful hummus. This is hickory smokehouse hummus. Taste it. If you want to add more, go ahead, add more. It's hard to take away. So once you have it all stirred up, you put it on your cutting board. I know this looks like, wait a minute, that's not what you do with the cutting
It's
board.
like you're frosting a cake.
It is like frosting your cutting board. So anyway, you get this all on here. It's still, I feel like a little kid finger painting and kind of like breaking the rules in some ways. All right, so you get this covered all over beautifully. And what our friend Lisa did now at this step, she took some shaved Brussels sprouts that she broiled with some Penzi spices until the crispy tips were a little bit charred. We took some romaine lettuce and chopped it up. So I'm just telling you, like, to use the same word that you were using in the previous presentation, this is a strategy. So this strategy for me, romaine lettuce.
And be sure you cut it up.
Yeah, we cut it all up. Romaine lettuce. That's great. That's my shaved Brussels sprouts. If you have shaved Brussels sprouts and you can broil them and get them crispy tipped, go for it. Next thing she used was caramelized shallots. I have caramelized onions, which I left in my fridge. Hold on one second. I just took an onion and put it in our pan. We have these great pans called caraway pans. By the way, if you don't have a caraway pan, they're amazing nonstick pans. They're ceramic. And actually there's a discount code Jane Esselstyn 10 if you want to get a discount. So
They are so good, actually, that the other day I left my cereal in my pan for
Your
such a
oatmeal.
long time, my oatmeal. And when I came back, it was
I mean, like hours.
steaming, and there was this all black thing inside. And I turned the pan over and
Was the
out
black in your
came
oatmeal?
one black oatmeal pancake. And the pan continued to keep working. So I was convinced of caraway.
It can take the kind of abuse we give it. All right, so this is a caramelized onion in my caraway pan. I just sort of cooked it on, medium low, add a little water to get the sweetness that comes out of the onion back onto the onions. Low. I'm not trying to char it. I'm not trying to blacken it. Just let it kind of get caramelized.
Jane 10, you said?
Jane Esselstyn 10. Jane Esselstyn 10. That's for you. So I've got hickory smokeout house hummus, lettuce, caramelized onions or shallots if you want to go the elevated route. You can do shelled peas. She had fresh shelled peas. I've got defrosted edamame. And edamame we know is soybeans. There's a really good high fiber, great source of protein and phytoestrogens. It's just, yummy, yummy, yummy. So then she had diced up some honey nut squash. I've got some diced up sweet potato that I microwaved. Again, I'm showing you that the strategy can be whatever makes it work for you.
And again, it's important in this to keep it in small pieces, not a big chunk like that.
No, that was
Because-
sticking together. Good teachable moment. Because what you're going to do is you're going to eat this with a cracker. And so you want to have everybody get as many different flavors. Like every bite tastes a little bit different. Okay, so then after our caramelized onions and our sweet potato,
And your edamame,
edamame, what she added was toasted pine nuts. Now, pine nuts to me are like little butterballs. I mean, it's just like fat with a skin on it. So we go with walnuts or pecans, and I have pecans, which I loved how you use those also. And I like to sort of crush them as I drop them because they're so beautiful and toasted, and I want to have them occasionally get a big bite, but occasionally just get the
yeah, but
little
the problem
dusting of
is
it.
it's hard to get a bit, if you have a whole walnut or a whole pecan and you're putting your cracker in, it's kind of hard to get it on there, so.
Do you guys
it's
say
nice to put-
pecan or pecan in Wisconsin?
Pecan.
You guys pecan, pecan, or pecan? Our friend down south said pecan, pecan.
More pecans.
I'm putting as many pecans as I can. All right, so the after pecans, isn't this fun? I can't hear anybody. Isn't this
Well,
fun? Give a thumbs up to Brian if this
If
is
you
fun.
don't think it's fun yet, you
It's gonna be so
will
fun.
as soon
Yeah.
as you taste this.
Double, we're getting the double thumbs up.
Thank you. And now this is diced apricots. And so now I have a little bit of sweet, which is always fun to get a little pop. Not a lot of sweet, but
I
like
like to get a lot of that in it.
Yeah, so we've got,
It's really nice.
some diced apricot,
Can you move that bottle? I'm sorry. Thank you.
some diced apricot in there. Okay, and after this, we have, just like you used before, we have the pomegranate seeds. Some people call it but they're called pomegranate arils. And this gives a nice holiday look. Looks very Thanksgiving, very holiday-ish. So here is. I really love these, and I got a whole fresh pomegranate and I pulled these out myself, which is kind of fun. Every other one I pulled out, I would eat one. I pulled out and then I'd eat one. So this is looking so holiday. Love it, love it, love it. I'm gonna add some diced up fine, I should say almost minced purple cabbage because I want this to does that look electric now?
Oh, it does.
Right, can you see that?
Yeah.
It looks as if there's a light inside.
Doesn't it? Doesn't it?
Wow.
Doesn't it? I know, it's so cool. So, and every color, is a phytochemical fighting, waging war with the bad stuff in your body. And I love scallions on everything. And scallions have, wonderful fiber, and allium vegetables are just what you want to have. They're anti-cancer, they're pro-health, they're rah-rah, cheer, can't say enough about them. Okay, now I'm coming into the kick it in the goal here with microgreens. And these are broccoli and greens of broccoli. These have so many sulforaphanes that just fight cancer like mad. So we want to put these on there. And
I have that.
yes. And to top it off then, and this is key, is you use generously your balsamic glaze. This happens to be from Whole Foods 365. Their in-house cheaper brand of stuff. But you can get this at most grocery stores. Please read the ingredients, make sure it just has balsamic glaze. And some of them may have some sugar in it, but you can find ones like, can't read on this right now, but make sure it doesn't have, I found one time, I was so excited, and it had milk in it.
Just
Shocking.
key, read all ingredients, even
Yeah.
when you think you know what's in it. Read these.
So when I say be generous, I mean like you're gonna be, look at the high drama.
Jane, get it on, not on the board.
I know.
Oh,
It just, little curly hue in the corner. And then I'm almost like weaving
that's
it.
where my cracker's gonna go.
So speaking of cracker, I'm gonna have Ann, I have an Invisalign in right now, so it's hard for me to take it out and put it in the, anyway. So I'm gonna, and, hey, these are flax crackers, just flax and seeds. Will you give that a go? We also have some Mary's Gone crackers. They're good for crackers that obviously don't have a lot of added oil and stuff and have some whole grains in them. There's a great black rice cracker that, oh, yum, yum, yum. All right, will you come have a bite of this? Oh.
Yeah.
Let me give you it. So sometime, if you're, as you're serving this, you may want to even have like a pretty knife or something near it.
Tovolo?
Tovolo, but there is like a nice, like a serving knife. Here, I'm gonna sandwich it for you. Oh, look at that. There you go, my love. So this better board is just a mountain of yum, and you have a ton of crackers near it and it'll go. It will go. So we're gonna put that right there. And we're gonna work on this for the next, actually, this is dinner. Okay, so that is my appetizer, a holiday better board. If you want to go on YouTube and see Lisa do it with her fancier ingredients, you can do so. Jane Esselstyn, Ann Esselstyn, plant-based with Jane Esselstyn, Ann Esselstyn on YouTube, and just put in holiday hummus better board. Because the trend of this started, people would take a cutting board and they would put butter, they would paint it with thick layer of butter, and then they put vegetables and, you know, apricots and onions and just like that. But the foundation was butter, and they called it butter board. That's why we call it a better board, because it's better than the butter. Okay, to you, Ann.
I am going to.
What were the crackers you used?
We used Mary's Gone crackers, find some brands, and this is a flaxseed cracker. It just is called flaxseed, plant-based organic, and it's got flax seeds and vinegar and rosemary and sea salt and organic sage. Okay, so but let's read the ingredients, find some crackers that work for you.
But read the
Trader-
ingredients on the
Trader
crackers you
Joe's
buy.
Trader Joe's has a great like seedy cracker. It's just a bunch of seeds pressed together. I love that one. And they have a little rice cracker. All right, so on to Ann's appetizer, which is her champion one that she's done for years, and we love it. Love it.
When we
love it.
first started, when my husband wrote Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease in 2007, I did the recipes, and this is a recipe that I created. And I always was excited because so often recipes, you had somebody else gives you the idea, etc. This came from me. So I start with potatoes about the size of a walnut, of a small egg.
Well, really good, small egg.
Yeah, and so take your potato, and
After you done what to it?
these are I'm sorry, I steam them until they're soft, and I just tell,
I usually boil them till they're soft.
well, anyway, and
Steaming
just
is
keep
probably
sticking
better.
something in, and then when they're steamed, when they're cooked and nice and soft, and I'm gonna cut them in half, but the key thing is, put them on your board. Do not cut them so that they're going to lie flat. So you see
Don't cut
here,
them flat, so you
like that, and then I'm gonna
You
turn
said
it
don't
like
cut them so
this.
they lie flat. Do cut them, right?
Cut them so that they lie flat.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna do the same with this little guy. And she's gonna lie flat. And those I am going to put here. I need to scoop.
For melon baller.
My melon baller,
You can't see the potatoes, they're coming.
my melon baller's at home.
She lives
But
next door.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scoop out the center. And I love scooping out the center, because you can, of course, I can eat it, but more fun than that is to save it and put these little melon balls in your salad. So, I'm gonna scoop.
Or put them in your sandwich, potato ball sandwich. Ha, that's breaking some rules.
Potato ball sandwich.
Yeah.
Well, I like them in the salad,
That sounds
but
clever.
either way, and anyway, just stand there and eat them, delicious. Because I love these yellow potatoes. And so once I've scooped out them all out, And I use about 12 potatoes. And I get, so there's, cut them in half, there's 24 pieces. Then I'm gonna get hummus. And I'm gonna put about, for the 12 potatoes, I don't have quite that many here, so I'm gonna put about half.
So 12 potatoes usually uses the whole 8 ounces, you think?
No, it's not gonna, because I don't have the 12. They didn't fit on my plate. And then I've got hummus in here. And you know, I have not done this before, but I am gonna put, usually I just put a sprinkle on the top. But today, I want to try putting
Some smoked paprika.
smoked
Look at
paprika
that, Fry. Can you see
in
that?
here.
Right in the hummus.
And then I am also going to put in about 1/4 or a half teaspoon of turmeric. And the turmeric is key because it makes it turn yellow. And anyway, turmeric is such an important thing to get into your life.
Anti-inflammatory.
Inflammatory. And Jane, you know, because you always need a little pepper to activate the turmeric.
Let's get a little
Jane
pepper.
might just put in a little pepper.
Ha, watch out. B5 full thumb.
And then I'm gonna put in about a teaspoon or so of Dijon mustard.
Oh, we're to the dregs on the bottom of that one.
And then I am gonna put in about a cup, but I don't have a whole, about half a cup of green onions. And mix this up. And then I'm gonna stuff it into my, but before I do that, I have one more important thing to do. Do you have it?
Duster?
I am gonna put in
Some.
um,
So this hummus has smoked paprika, turmeric, scallions, green onions, and some lemon in it, lemon
Yeah.
juice.
again. Please understand, this is just, you can fill it with anything you want. As long as it's plant-based. And here is something. I want to just have a little.
Can you move the turmeric?
Oh,
Is it good? Did you nail it?
yeah, I like having a little bit of the turmeric. I mean, a little bit of the.
Smoked paprika.
Smoked paprika right there.
Now, while she's making these, can I tell a little story?
Oh, yeah.
So on my website a while ago, I had a picture on the banner of the head of the website of just a bunch of food. There's a, we had a big smorgasbord family get together. I don't even know what it was, but we had a platter. My mom had made a platter of these smoky little devils. And these, obviously, these little wheat potatoes have a lighter skin, but she had red skin potatoes for that event. And so I put the picture up on the website, and you know, it was like, my face, Jane Esselstyn, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And some guy wrote me and he's like, hey, Jane, you know, you claim to be vegan and everything. And I just want to let you know that deviled eggs are not vegan, they're vegetarian because eggs come from animal. He went on about like deviled eggs, and I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for your care and your attention and your observations. And if you look closely, you'll see on those smoky little devils, a little red skin around the edge. That's a potato skin. That's a potato. And he was like,
Did he
unresponsive.
write you back?
He did not write me back. But I love that it was so convincing that someone was concerned with my messaging that it was wrong. Anyway, so you're filling all these with the yellow hummus that looks like a deviled egg kind of what is it? What do you call it? Yolk filling? What do you call
Yeah,
it?
yolk.
Yolk. Oh, makes me gag almost to think of that. My husband always said, Brian always says, like, the way you could get like his bank passwords out of him is to like force him to smell boiled eggs. He'd just be like, oh, get away, I'll tell you anything.
All right,
Thought of it, it's pretty awful. So,
now, not quite done,
okay, what's next?
because next I am gonna put the smoked paprika right here on top. And then I have a little smoked paprika inside,
Nice.
which is not in the normal, is in the original recipe. But I think that it's a nice,
I think we do sprinkle it on top of this on the recipe. We don't put it inside this on the original recipe.
No,
Oh, we changed it up.
yeah, no, in the original one, I just put paprika and then in the smoked. So,
Oh.
and then I have one other thing I want to do.
What do you want to do?
I would like to put on top of each one, a little
Oh,
sprig,
a little broccoli,
broccoli sprout.
little healthy broccoli sprout.
Yeah,
That's so
So-
nice.
and while you're starting up your next thing. And also, if you wanted to, you could put, the other thing that's sort of fun is to put an arugula leaf.
Oh.
You have to look for a small one.
Okay, all right, well, I am,
Or you could just take green onions and put them in top. So there's a whole variety.
okay, well, I am now, I'm gonna move on to desserts while she's finishing up this other appetizer, the Smoky Little Devils. I love that you shared that you're the OG of this one. You're the original direct,
Yeah.
creator of it. I didn't know that. I love that. Okay, so moving on to dessert. I know this next dessert is gonna seem like, wait, this isn't really a dessert. It is. It is. It's so cool, and you don't really think so when you're making it, but it is. People would kind of go, hey, wait, can I have a little more of that? What was that? What was that? It isn't like, big, flaming fluffy brownie full of cheese or whatever. Not cheese, whipped cream. It's called seed bark, and it starts with,
Oh, I love Jane seed bark.
she's like a wood chipper. She just eats it all.
It's so crunchy.
It is, and so you put in, I'm gonna go by volumetrically, you put in, the majority of what you use is pumpkin seeds, pepitas, if you use that one. So I don't know, it's like a cup plus, and then you put a little bit less, like maybe, I don't know, half cup or a little more than half the cup of these are called sunflower seeds, and everything, by the way, is raw, it's not roasted, it's not salted, it's all just raw. And then you're gonna add some sesame seeds. You can use black sesame seeds if you want. Actually, should I do that? We've got black sesame seeds. I think it has a little more phytochemicals, so here we go. Black sesame seeds. I feel like a rebel. I don't always do black sesame seeds in there. Okay, and then it's 5 different seeds. We've got pumpkin, we've got sunflower, I use sesame seeds, black or white. And then you're gonna use chia seeds. And I'm doing it volumetrically, so now a little, and roughly like 2 tablespoons of the chia seeds and around a tablespoon or 2 of flaxseed meal. Probably 2 tablespoons of everything. So anyway, you can see this, it's just this rough mixture. And it looks like I'm making something for the birds. Yeah, this looks like you can put it in a bird feeder and happy holiday for the birds. But this is actually delicious and makes its way into so many different corners of your day. And here's how, here's why, where's my maple syrup? The key here, for the holiday, we actually sometimes add, this isn't pickled ginger, this is crystallized ginger. Crystallized ginger, just so you know, it does have,
It makes, I just love.
it has some sugar on it sometimes, most of the time. So if you're one of white sugar, I get it, don't do that. I mean, we have a little bit of ketchup on things, which has sugar, and we have a little barbecue sauce on things, that has some sugar on it. We like to use minimal amount of sweet. So in all this, we're having a little bit of ginger that has some sugar on it. And it just makes it's more of a holiday flavor, like a chunk of crystallized ginger. So I'm putting it in probably like, I don't know, a tablespoon and a half or so minced. Let's put it on your side. Okay, and then the key here is to put like 2 tablespoons, maybe 3, depending on, you can't, if you do too much, this won't become crispy. So, oh my gosh, the top almost came off. I could have poured half a cup on there. So I'm gonna go about 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, and I'll see how it goes. I don't think I need much more than that. Because everything gets sort of slightly coated with slightly coated with just a hint, just like a drizzling of maple syrup. And when you bake it then at 350 for roughly like 15 minutes, keep an eye on it. Everyone's oven has a different personality. My oven is about, I keep an eye on between 14 and 18 minutes, because depending on how thick it is or thin it is. I want to make sure it just browns a little bit. So this is perfect. Any more maple syrup and it would be a little bit too heavy, you know? So then you take a pan. Oh, I have all my my sample, my caraway pans are all, I already made a batch of all this for you guys, so they're all being used, but I would take a pan and put it with parchment. Sorry if you're in. Parchment paper. Sorry, I had my caraway pan ready to go. I didn't.
We fill out with paper, punch it all up so that they lie nice and flat. Otherwise, it kind of flips wherever it pleases to go. Now it obeys. It obeys.
Jane, can you recap the ingredients again?
Yes, it is pumpkin seed, sunflower seed, sesame seed, chia seed,
Hold on, pumpkin seeds.
sunflower seed,
Yep.
sesame seed, chia seed, and flaxseed meal. And then a drizzle of maple syrup. And if you want to put in some crystallized ginger, go ahead. You can bring over your ingredients on for the raspberry. And what's that? So what I'm doing here is,
What book is this in the,
This-
this, what books is
this is in the Engine 2 cookbook, if you want to hear more about it. And the reason that you can bring over all your raspberries and your maple syrup and your Cuisinart stuff. Right there. Yeah, it's all right. I'm gonna move to Ann can put her stuff right there. For her next dessert. But here comes the trick. I'm gonna turn the oven on because maybe it looks to be done by the time we finish, actually. So this then is a uniform topography. It's an equal level. It's nice and flat. Nothing sticking up too high in a corner or whatever. So everything's gonna bake at the same, for the same amount of time. I don't want to have any holes necessarily. It's okay. The chia seeds like to stick when I do that, so I just throw them down. There's always one cookie, one puck. They're called seed bark pucks that has a little chunk. Now this is Brian Hart trophy from when he was in middle school for the, what was it, Brian?
most improved. swimmer?
Most improved swimmer for the JV summer teams.
Yeah.
I love this trophy and I use it to make puck size things. Now, Brian, can you get the side view on this? Can you see the side view okay?
Yep.
You'll notice that in between and next to each puck, there's stuff, there's chunks. Those are the delicious bits that you can have along with your oatmeal or in, a little snack ready to go take for a hike. A friend of mine we went to Niagara Falls the other day. She's like, can I have some of that bird food when we go for our hike? I was like, oh yeah, she took a little baggie of it. We just ate the little Crispies because the pucks, cook as pucks, but then next to it, all the yummy stuff outside. So what these pucks can do is they become little, everyone can have a serving, a puck or whatever. And in it goes again for like 12 to 15 minutes. My oven's not warmed up, so I'm gonna just keep an eye on this with a rough timer of about, I'm gonna start with 15 minutes and see if you guys are still here for that time. Okay, so the seed bark pucks actually lead us into what this next recipe is, and I'm gonna plug this in over here, and you can create it here. Sure. Right here. So Ann is making something that in almost every cookbook we have.
There's some version of it, and
Everywhere.
today, I'm making the way I do it, but I want Jane to describe in detail how she does it, because if you want it really creamy and thick, you'll have to do it Jane's way. But this is my quick and delicious way too. But I start with some of the Maury new silken tofu. Silken is a key word. If you don't want it to taste horrible, then don't get silken, because silken makes it delicious.
We need to say that 10 times.
silken tofu. And PBNOW is on the shelf.
If you don't get silken tofu, you're gonna make cat litter, a chunky, dry, like, what is this? Silken firm or silken extra firm? Neon lights, highlighted, italics, glowing, silken firm or extra firm. Okay,
Now, I
take
can
it away.
remember when I first saw how to open this. I'm never good at opening anything. So you cut both sides and then you cut right down the middle. And even though the directions plainly show you do that, it's hard if you, hold on. Excuse me, if you don't like reading directions. So then I turn it upside down and squeeze and hope that it all comes out, and you need to put it over the sink because there's a little bit of water in it. Now, what I do, and Jane is gonna tell you in a minute what she does, and you can see it came out in a hole. I take paper towels and just often just make sure I get a little of that liquid off. But
Okay, I'm gonna pause right here. What I do is I cut open the tofu just like my mom did. And instead of taking paper towels, I take about 6 dish towels and I lay them out just like this on top of each other. And I put the tofu in the middle and I bundle it up and I put it in the fridge overnight. So the next morning, when I want to make this
it's
pudding,
one hard
no,
little ball.
no, not at all. It
No?
is a soft
Oh,
square, like a Philadelphia cream cheese texture almost. This has got a lot of water in it still, so it says fine. But mine, I like to have it thicker, so my spoon can stand up in my pudding. Okay, so what do you want to do,
I
Maya?
wanna,
Wait, there's a cherry stem in here. Along for the ride. I don't know how we got a cherry stem. So, you want to put something in here or just want to throw this up?
you can just do that while I'm figuring out where.
Okay. PBNOW, stir it up. How much of this are you gonna put in?
And I'm gonna put in a 1/3 cup of maple syrup. When Jane does hers, she usually needs to use 2 of the tofu and she puts a little more maple syrup.
I put 2 tofu cubes in the towels together, so I doubled it, so it has, I usually put 2/3.
And then I put in lemon. And
Oh gosh, we squirted the better board on that one, Mommy.
you need more lemon.
That was probably pretty good, actually.
And then I'm gonna put in 2 cups of frozen raspberries. Now, my favorite of all, and this is beautiful for holiday. I absolutely love a combination of frozen blueberries and frozen berries. So good. And you also all you have a. We need to scrape down the sides
Yes,
because otherwise it'll be lumpy.
now that I wanted to make a mention about the raspberries, it didn't look like you had 2 cups because it was frozen 2 cups and it kind of thawed and shrunk down a little bit. So. This is looking great, but all these little chunks, no one wants to get a chunk of white tofu, you wanna get it with raspberries stirred into it, you wanna get it with some maple syrup, contacting it and some lemon zinging it up. So. Trying to go, Mommy. That's it, not done. That's good. Okay, I'm pick it up.
Sounds good.
Like our house, so we walk away and we go get the laundry, just do all kinds of
Alright.
stuff.
I'm gonna, while Jane's putting the seed bark out, I am gonna put some of this into I love serving it in wine glasses. And wait until you see what Jane is gonna do. The first time she did this, I said, Jane, you're ruining it. And then I tasted it and I realized, oh, it's unbelievable.
But what my mom has done, sometimes she takes this and she puts a layer of fresh I
I put fresh drop
mango,
raspberries. anything.
mango, and then a little more, so like, what's this called? Like pudding, frosting, whatever you want to call it. I can't
Mousse.
see it. Just layer it with whatever you want. But we put layers of the seed bark pucks in here, and it just, they crumble in here. And then once you put a layer on of seed bark, you put another layer of the raspberry mousse. You can make chocolate mousse, you can make blackberry mousse, you can
And
make
then-
raspberry, strawberry, blueberry.
And then
chocolate.
I like to
peanut
put
butter.
a mint leaf on top, but what I don't have oh, you're pretty. Mint leaf on top.
That looks like broccoli sprouts.
That's a broccoli sprout, because I don't have a mint leaf.
And it is delicious. Here, use the spoon, have a quick bite. See how it is, again, I have my this line, I'm gonna take a bite too. So this is seed bark pucks I cooked previously, so you can see all the chunky pieces and around the big sections. All right, next thing,
Oh. Oh,
Friday, you want a bite?
No, in a sec, I want to have dinner.
so
Brian
good.
must have more the better word.
Someone's asking if they have suggestions about substituting tofu because someone can't tolerate soy. Do you have any sense of like what would you be able to do that without soy?
You know what? Soy is so plain tasting, like it's like just, there's no flavor. So it's so good how it adopts to this. So I would be hard up. I mean,
Wait, I've heard of something.
What can you eat other than tofu?
I'm gonna think, but I
oh,
can't think.
no, we know what we.
Tofu.
We've had pumfu, which is pumpkin seed tofu,
No.
and it's green, so it would be like a brown raspberry pudding. But pumfu is made with like the enzymes that make tofu, but it's using the base of pumpkin seeds and not tofu. So try Brian, type in there pumfu.
Yeah.
If they are curious. But that's a great question. Thanks for asking. And the camera can't see what these when you do it. So we're gonna put that right there on the edge. You wanna make another one? Oh, you good? Okay. The last thing we're gonna make tonight is something that we had a ton of fun creating for our cookbook called Be a Plant-Based Woman Warrior. Live fierce, stay bold, eat delicious. She's getting one of our, they're so dusty, Mom. Here, why don't you use this cup instead? Because that's so dusty. We don't drink anything, so.
You want to rinse that
Oh,
off?
here, you can rinse this off on it. This will be a good one. Okay, this is called Appetizer. It's in our Be a Plant-Based Woman Warrior cookbook. And Appetizer, I think means like pepper cookie in Swedish. Someone in Wisconsin, I'm sure, speaks Swedish. You can help me out there. I think that's what it means. And it's a really delicious, easy cooking, has some cool ingredients. I use oat flour because we have so much wheat flour in our lives, in our belly, in our body, that I like to switch it up. You can use whatever flour you prefer.
And Jane has gotten me now, so that's all I use is oat flour.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. I like the thought of it getting some extra oat fiber. And then you add some baking soda, baking powder, a little bit here.
Is this cooked?
Yeah, that's ready to go. That's the one I made previously. And you add some black pepper. Yep, black pepper to this cookie. Love that. And then some cinnamon and cloves and ginger. Do I have any ginger over here? Shoot, what do I do with my ginger? Oh, here it is. Excuse me, I think I opened the pepper and I'm sneezing already. Okay, we're gonna put a pinch of cloves. And I put it in here because I don't dare go straight from the bottle. That's a pinch of cloves, probably like a 1/16 of a cup. And then I have about a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. And I'm doing this way because cooking is a strategy. It's not an exact recipe, especially our recipes, which we know how we've made them. We test them over and over and over again. The recipe testers, but we know what goes into it. And all right, we do 1 tablespoon of half teaspoon of brown ginger, or 1 teaspoon of fresh ginger. I use fresh ginger in the ones I made previously. Here, that you'll see in a second. Okay, then what I have to add to this is some liquid stuff to all this. Okay, we've got so far. I'm just going to remind you, and again, the recipes in the Plant-Based Woman Warrior book. oat flour, baking soda, baking powder, black pepper, cinnamon, cloves, ginger. So now I'm gonna add maple syrup. Where's maple syrup? Oh, there we go. I knew it was on deck. Okay, we're gonna add maple syrup. And we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of molasses.
Whoa.
And I love the fact that we use molasses because I have a bottle of molasses in my cupboard for maybe our whole marriage. I'm going to measure the 2 tablespoons because it's so cool. Watch the texture of this come out. You know, it's so thick and
And
smooth.
black.
And just, yeah, it's so nice and dark and rich. I know it's like some byproduct of making sugarcane or sugar cane. I don't even know how molasses is made. Someone, I'm sure, on the call does. All right, and the last thing I'm gonna add here, last liquid, is a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. And we call it ACV around here. ACV, not that these cookies rise at all, but I'm so used to putting like a baking agent and a rising agent into our cookies. All right, so how's our time, Bri?
8:11.
All right, we're coming into here right on time. So what I want to show here is that the texture of this cookie is not a typical cookie because cookies, the dough is, you can kind of hold it and you make a ball or something. This is really juicy, really liquidy, because this comes out kind of like these are kind of like, for lack of a better comparison, a vanilla wafer or like a ginger snap that's been flattened. And there's the cool thing about peppercorn. I'm gonna show you. So
Phone's in the way.
No, you're good now.
this with this camera, with
Oh, yeah.
No, they're okay.
the side camera coming in.
That's fine, we're good.
Okay, you can see here, Brian,
Yep.
how these are so slim and flat. When you put them out, they just, this is how the size they are. They don't expand, they don't drag, they don't sort of melt. Look what they are. But here's the fun thing. We get a peppercorn.
No, the fun thing is eating.
Well, the fun thing's a wish. To make a wish cookie. Oh, here. You put it in your palm of your hand. And you make a wish. And when you have your wish, let me get my wish, okay? Hold on. Okay. And then when you tap a cookie in the middle, and if it breaks into 3 sections, your wish comes true. Ready? Ooh. Mine did, but
Mine usually doesn't.
Mine-
It did.
mine did, but my section went into the dough, into the batter.
That's a bad thing.
I
No.
love these cookies. And you know why? Jane knows why.
They're so crispy.
So crunchy. And it's hard to
This
have
one has some
crunch.
frosting on it. Want to try it?
You're welcome.
Okay. Well,
Oh,
It's called pepper. How do you spell it, Jane?
it's called it's called peppercorn. PEPPAR. Pepper, and then KAKOR. Peppercorn, like a pepper cookie. Or cracker.
they're a little ginger snappy
That's exactly what they are.
and so tasty
Yes.
and crunchy.
And I love that they had a little wish with it because people then were like, hey, I have to have another one because I didn't get the right, I got 4, I got 2, or whatever.
I'm not gonna have another because my wish came true.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Well, you guys, we are happy to take some questions now because we are we, and this is cooked at
What temperature for baking?
this is 350. And watch your oven. One of my recipe testers, 8 minutes. Another recipe tester, 16 minutes. I tend to go in my oven here about 13 to 14 minutes. All right.
You
So
cook
this,
them on parchment paper?
well, we don't have to with our caraway pan, which is so great. It doesn't stick. But yeah, parchment paper, like we did with the seed bar. Speaking of seed bar, she's done. Look at her. Here she comes. Whew, hold on. This, you see how it's a little bit darker? I don't show you her light. It's so late here. It's got
Put it by your bowl and they can see it.
this kind of dark. You can see the circles here. I can let this cool. As it cools, it goes. And it starts to like crisp up. The way it's not crispy when it comes out. It crisps up as it cools. If it doesn't crisp up as it cools, put it back in the oven, even the warm oven. He's on. Um. Sorry, I got the pepper in my throat. Sorry.
You guys have been doing
We're
a
a
lot of
mess.
talking.
Yeah, I know. I think all the pepper.
It's even good.
Any questions or comments before I sneeze up a storm?
Tell them to put it in the chat.
Please
So
put them in the chat. If you have a question or comment, Brian will read it to us. Thank you very much. Okay. Oh my gosh.
Oh, my goodness.
you
I
could
do
put
have
it
to
in-
make a comment.
Could put it in the chat, or if people want to use the reaction, put the hand raised hand. We may. I'm not sure if we can see that or not. But
You know what? I want to tell you guys about something else. Is that the other day we did a demo with this also, and I had so much extra batter and we had so many cookies. I was like, oh my gosh. So I took the peppercocker batter and I put it in a loaf pan and made a ginger loaf. It actually worked.
Was it
Because of the,
good?
yes, I'm gonna do it again.
Oh,
So this is,
Would you call it gingerbread,
yeah,
not ginger loaf?
I think a ginger loaf was a gingerbread, like a gingerbread man, gingerbread woman, gingerbread person.
this
I
question
think
might have been
it-
answered already, but it said what temp for baking?
350,
350.
nothing snaky.
There was a question: are all these recipes in your newest cookbook? And I know you mentioned one of them was in the Engine 2, right?
all over the place.
Some of them are in the Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease cookbook, some are in the Engine 2 cookbook, some are in the Plant-Based Woman Warrior book.
Most of these are Plant-Based Woman Warrior and Engine 2, right?
And Smoky Little Devils
Oh.
are in, they're in, that's, they're in Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease cookbook. Yeah. So that's, yeah.
I have to tell you all something.
What do you need to tell everybody?
It's very sad, but Brian Hart has never been willing to even try one of these because he is so repulsed by eggs that they look so much like an egg that he won't even, he can't even look at them.
Can we cheer him on right now? Can we just cheer him on to do it right now on camera?
Brian,
No,
Brian.
no.
Exactly.
Chew.
I guarantee it.
He
I've
eats
tried
hummus
for
every day.
years.
He eats potatoes every day, but he like that.
There's a
All right.
question- There's a question here asking if Brian, if you could put the names of the cookbooks in the chat.
Sure.
Sure. The Prevent and Reverse Heart
I got
Disease.
it.
Okay. I was just saying them as he types them. Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease cookbook, the Engine 2 cookbook, and the Plant-Based Woman Warrior. All right, thanks you guys. Any other questions while Brian's typing that in? Anything else in the
Oh, I
chat?
noticed something, Jane. You've got your cookbook isn't the normal binding. Where did you get the one?
You're right. Good. We have a spiral. It's so great. You just
Oh,
pop
it
it
makes
open.
all the
It's
difference.
a spiral bound version there.
All cookbooks should be like that.
I know, they should be. Well, it's great because you can just really go right to where we want. You can get this you can go to your local Kinko's type, printing stores and they can spiralize it for you, or you can get it when you order it from, Barnes & Noble or Amazon or wherever you buy your books.
Right.
I think it's a wee bit more cost. I don't know. I'm not sure. I was
It is.
sent this one by my fairy godmother.
Someone suggested that you publish an index book that includes all the cookbooks, one giant compendium.
That's what we're working on with our YouTube. We're slowly cooking all of the recipes we can from all of our books. And we invent things along the way, so we throw those up there too. So we'll try to get there. Thank you for that thought.
Are there any new cookbooks in the oven, so to speak?
We are still selling our old album. We're not working on our new album yet.
But the group's still together.
The group is still
It sounds
together.
like you guys have a cookbook in the offing.
Yeah.
I mean, in the works.
And Michelle asked, how often do you post to YouTube?
We post it roughly every 10 days or so. We try to keep it not predictable because
We're not predictable.
we're not so predictable, but I mean, also just because If you're like every Tuesday, it's a little much. But if you kind of pop in and surprise people, they kind of seem to tolerate us a little better.
And you're also on Instagram.
Yes.
All right.
All right, well, we hope to see you guys again and work with you guys again. I think, Terry, we talked about maybe in 2015 doing, getting back to what we originally had planned for this evening, which was label reading. Correct?
Yep.
And
Right.
then
Then
And then-
15-minute meals.
15-minute meals.
Oh,
Oh,
that is challenge. Brian's in charge of that one.
yes, that's a challenge.
So that would be 2025, and I think we have a date in the spring. I'm not sure what it is, like April or May or something.
Email us and we'll coordinate with you guys. Thank you so much. You guys, your official name is Plant-Based Nutrition Group of Wisconsin.
Plant-Based
Yep.
Nutrition Organization of Wisconsin. That's what's
Organization.
the PBNOW. So
PBNOW.
Plant-Based Now.
You sound
And
like
how
a-
many
a
people are-
wonderful group.
How many people are members are in your group?
Well, we don't have memberships, but we've got probably a little bit over 1,000 on the list.
That many people in Wisconsin don't eat cheese?
Well, these are people who are interested. I don't know that they're all not eating cheese, but
All
but
right.
yeah, it's growing. It's doing well. And when you guys come and talk, we end up with a much larger group with very
So
good reason.
happy to help. That's such good news. Well, hip hip hooray. Thanks, you guys. And we will see you in the new year, it sounds like.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, happy holidays. Make some of your own amazing appetizers and desserts. All right.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, Jane and Ann and Brian. And just as a reminder to everybody, our next monthly meeting is going to be Thursday, December 12th. Our featured speaker will be California plant-based author Rachel Brown. If you'd like to receive notice of this, just go to pbnow.org and register there, and you'll receive email notice of the upcoming events. Also, if remember that you can check out parts of this meeting or some of our past meetings by going to YouTube. Again, thanks to our speakers, Ann Jane Esselstyn and Brian and Michelle Stam, for sharing your valuable time and knowledge with us tonight. And thanks for coming, everybody.